Okay, welcome back everybody. This is Uhfgood and we're continuing with the John Lemon John Lemon's Haunted Jaunt 3D Beginner tutorial for Unity. And I'm gonna go ahead and I wasn't going to do this at first, so which is kind of why I didn't do it right now, or why I didn't do it in the last video. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'm gonna keep it to 10 minutes because we're gonna keep these really short, and then I'll expand them back to 15 minutes when I get a little bit ahead in my videos. But in any case, of course, this looks a little different than the last video because I had this down here and I kind of positioned it to more where it looks more like a 16:9 image or whatever. It's not a big deal. It's just I don't guess it matters though because really you want the aspect ratio of the window because I have it set to maximized when playing. So okay, so let's go back to this, and we're going to be working on audio, which means I'm going to have to put on my headphones sometime. And okay, so let me switch to tiny mode. Now I'm a tiny little guy up here, down here, here. Okay, so now there's still a thing where in vlogs they say that you need to have a story, you need to have a beginning, middle, and end, and I'm going to try to follow that sort of. I can't really do that, mostly because I don't know, I don't know what I'm going to get through here. Okay, let's just do that. And let's see, a primer on audio in Unity. I don't know how far I'm going to get. Before I do anything, let's see. Primer on audio in Unity, use the non-diegetic audio, create audio sources for your game. So, I am going to attempt to get to step 4 within this video. Within 8 minutes, hopefully. Doesn't mean I will, just means that's what I'm going to attempt to do. And then at the end I'm going to recap a little bit, and then we'll see if I can start getting like a beginning, middle, and end running in these videos. So let's get into it. Before you, I think it's also funny to note, down here where my mouse is, I still see a white square rectangle where that little add thing that I clicked on was. And it doesn't show up when I record in OBS for some reason, but for some reason it will leave these secondary windows up. In fact, you can actually faintly see an X, and you can see like a little words if you were actually looking at my screen. I could almost, maybe I should. Here, I'm gonna do something real quick. Let's see. What is it done? Pardon me for a sec while I do this. And I'm just gonna turn my, you can see it? Okay. So, the question is, can you see it? See the little, it's right down in here. Oh, that's right. You can't even see it on my screen because never mind. But anyways, let me do something real quick. Here, let's take this. Let's move it over here. If you notice here, there is no oh, right. If you notice here, there is no white square. But if you see in the window here, in the window in this lower right corner is a little white square, and that was where that add thing was. And it does it on certain windows. It doesn't do them on all windows. And then when I right click, refresh, it's gone now. But you still don't see it in here. So I've been trying to figure out what's been causing that. It's kind of crazy. Here, let's move me back, and let's move me back in here, and whoa, whoa, whoa. There we go. And now I'm back to where I'm supposed to be. Anyways, I know I wasted time doing that, but I don't know. It's some weird thing. Is when I switch back to when I switched from a Windows theme that used Arrow to just the Windows Classic theme, it started doing that. So if I switch it back to arrow, it seemed to it seemed to refresh, and I don't understand why it's not doing that now. But whatever, it's kind of annoying, and that's why you'll sometimes see me clicking in an area where there's nothing there to click on. Anyways, let's get back into the thing here. I know I've wasted too much time already, but before you begin to add your audio to your game, let's quickly explore how audio works in Unity. There are three main parts: audio clips, audio sources, and the audio listener. Audio clips are assets such as MP3s that contain all the data specific to a particular sound. Audio sources are components which act as the origin of a sound in the game world. Most things that make a sound in the game should have an audio source component so that the sound has a location. The audio listener is a single component in a scene that works like the virtual ears of the player, in the same way that the camera component works like the virtual eyes of the player. By default, the audio listener component is on the main camera. These different parts generally work together as follows. An audio source plays an audio clip, and if the audio listener is close enough to the audio source, then the sound is heard. The spatial blend of a particular audio source determines whether it sounds like it's coming from a particular point in the game world, or if it is equally loud no matter the distance between the source and the audio listener. You're starting with a non-diegetic sound. Since this is a sound doesn't have to have an origin, it's a spatial blend. It is set to 2D. When the spatial blend is set to purely 2D, distance between the audio source and the audio listener does not affect the volume. It's called 2D because it can still pan left and right using the stereo pan setting. If an audio source's spatial blend is set to purely 3D, the volume will vary with distance to the audio listener. Values between 2D and 3D vary the strength of this effect. Work step is completed. We have completed that step. Okay, number 3. What is non-diegetic? What is non-diegetic audio? Non-diegetic audio without an identifiable source, I think there's a little typo there, can have a big impact on your game and the experience for players. Think about the games you have enjoyed playing and how they use these sounds to create a particular atmosphere. How do they make you feel? What about them is particularly effective? You're going to add 3 non-diegetic sounds to your game. An ambient track which will loop and give a general atmosphere to the haunted house. A sound effect which plays when John Lemon gets caught. A sound effect when John Lemon manages to escape. Okay, mark this step as completed. Now, create audio sources. See if we can get to this number 4 here before the timer runs, to 10 minutes or whatever. Create audio sources for your game. First, create some audio sources for your game. In the hierarchy window, click on the Create menu and select Create Empty. Rename the object Ambient. Okay, Create Empty. Okay, rename it Ambient. Yeah, not Ambient Game Object. Ambient. Okay, in the inspector, set the position to 000. It's kind of weird here because it's keeping those last game objects in there. The position of the game object doesn't technically matter since the volume of the audio will be the same wherever it is. However, it is always helpful to keep your game object organized positionally in case this matters later. Next, you need to add an audio source component. Normally, you would do this with the Add Component button, but when you want to assign an audio clip as well, there's a shortcut you can use. In the project window, go to Assets Audio. Go to Audio. Drag the SFX House Ambience audio clip from the project window onto the inspector window to create an audio source component and automatically assign it as an audio clip. So, House Ambience, which is here, and we'll just add it here, and there we go. Everything's good. Okay. The spatial blend property already has been set to fully 2D. Spatial blend, spatial blend. Where's that at? Oh, 2D. So you don't need to change it. Play on Awake has also been enabled by default. This means that as soon as the level starts, the audio will start playing. However, by default, it will stop after a single run through. Enable the loop checkbox to loop the ambient track for your game. So, where is the loop? We're going to do loop. Now, your haunted house has some creepy background sound. Enter play mode and test that the audio plays properly. Okay, so I'm going to save it. I'm going to put on my trusty headphones. Okay, and we're gonna see if it plays. Yep. Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, let's quit that. And, okay, so, alright. You should hear the audio. It's a bit loud compared to the other sounds you'll add in this tutorial. Exit play mode so you can adjust those. The inspector set the volume property to 0.5. So, volume. Volume. 0.5. Okay. And mark step as completed. And we did complete it by the time, even though I... Doggone, you stupid... Cancel. Save it. Yes. Anyways, we did it. And it looks good. So, let's see if we can figure out what to do next. So, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video, and we'll continue on.